What you're about to see has been at the bottom of our spreadsheet
for about a year.
It's always been there behind the scenes. This little emoji's been looking at me for the past year. There we go. So professional here. You can tell that we've been doing this for over 3 years. Anyway. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm one of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, are my good friends Kyle.
Hello.
And Hunter. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
If you're wondering something looks different. I've changed. I don't know what happened. I reenacted like a Michael Bay kind of Transformers 2007 scene, and I shaked my camera out for Hunter for shits and giggles, and now my camera angle's changed. I kind of like it, to be honest. I like it. Is it because there's less of my head in the frame? I don't know. More of my head in the frame? I don't know.
Because you're not showing off the bananas in the background anymore.
The bananas are gone. You guys mocked my bananas so much.
His loyalty to Master Coca is not.
Do you know what's really funny? I was talking to Jack. He's alive on like Monday, and the first thing that he said, because he was like, he'd watched the episode or whatever, and the first thing he said, this was before we even mentioned it in the podcast, he was like, yo, I was wondering, because I didn't get far, I just like watched the first, I was like, what was the deal with the bananas? And I'm like, for God's sake, there's no deal with the bananas.
My friend was asking me about the bananas too, and I'm like, it's just, you could see more of the stuff because, I mean, it was daytime for him.
It was daytime for me. Look, this is the usual, like, 1 a.m. kind of darkness that I'm used to, just at a different angle. I can do that. There's no bananas. I ate them all, you fools. But no, it's all good. Also, I think I wore did I wear the Mio and Noah shirt last week? I'm wearing the Bros this time.
I think you wore it earlier this week.
Oh, did I not wear it on the podcast? Oh.
No, I don't think so.
No, I
anyway,
think
that's a
wear it
cool
on
shirt,
the podcast.
Yeah, this
I
is
remember
look.
seeing the
It's
other shirt.
the homies, dude. It's the real ship of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
Shulk and Rex. I love it. It's a good shit. It's got a little mini Elvis on the top. Where is it? There he is. Look at it. He's got just big chilling in the top. It's a good shit.
He's all sneaky.
It's a good shit. But now, can you tell, guys, that it's a filler episode? Oh yeah, baby. We're going through all the motions. Yeah, obviously next week we've got a big week. We have got Game of the Century, Crash Team Rumble coming out, and then we've got a controversial game. Will it be good? Will it be bad? There's definitely not a 3-hour demo to find out. Final Fantasy 16 is out next week.
Some people think it's not even real Final Fantasy.
I don't think it is.
That's the real
every Final
controversy.
Fantasy.
They say it about Pokemon too.
It's kind of funny that it's like the people who hate these franchises are the people who are the most invested. And I always find that incredibly funny because it's like, as someone who's a casual, I'm like, when people started saying it was Game of Thrones, I'm like, oh God, it's better than Game of Thrones because there's personality here. I'm like, thank God.
Hey, there was personality in the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones.
I wouldn't know because
and then they ran out of books to adapt.
The only scenes I've ever really seen in Game of Thrones are from the later seasons. So I've got a bad experience. Yeah, I've got a bad experience with Game of Thrones and a short attention span. But no,
it's all right. Jacob's seen 1 episode of Game of Thrones, and it was the last episode of whole show. I was tempted. His friends were doing a watch party at college.
And he's
like, I'll just join it. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Exactly. But no, we'll be talking all about Crash Team Rumble and Final Fantasy 16 next week. I've played the demo already, so I've done my homework ahead of the time. I'm 2 hours ahead of you guys. Well, hey.
I'm choosing not to play the demo.
You should just play it the night before.
Why does it matter?
Thursday night, boot up the demo, play the first 2 hours, then you're 2 hours ahead ready for the next day.
Nah.
You're a freak. You're an absolute freak.
That.
Hunter's a smart man, you see.
Look,
we've got so many reviews to go through, dude. We've got so many reviews to go through. I wish I could pre-play 2 hours of Crash Team Rumble. That's all I'm saying.
You have.
You did.
I did.
You've played more than 2 hours of it. You could have recorded that footage and had a review out already. Truly. Had a review ready to go day one.
There was only 4 characters. We had like Crash, Coco, Dingo, Torna, and we had 5. We had half the roster and 3 of the 12 maps or whatever. No, not a good enough review. I like to wait for the finished product. But no, anyway, both of those are coming next week. This week, we decided...
The games, not the reviews.
The games, not the reviews. Who knows?
Just to clarify.
I might be.
We don't work that fast.
You never know. I might write really quickly a Crash Team Rumble review. You never know. What will come out first? The Zelda review or the Crash Team Rumble review? It'll definitely be the Zelda review.
It'll
be out next week
by Tuesday.
Yeah, if you're watching this, it'll probably be out tomorrow.
Just like Crash Team Rumble.
Tuesday review day.
Tuesday review day. But yeah, so that'll be up tomorrow, and then obviously I can guarantee you the Crash Team Rumble review will be up before the Final Fantasy 16 review. I can promise you that much.
I will write my review based on the demo.
You're not playing the
demo. You're gonna play.
Yeah,
you're just writing the review based on the prologue.
Fuck it, I'm just writing my review based on the opinions of other YouTubers.
That's the spirit. I mean, it's the easier method.
Twitter.
It's the easier method. Just roll with it, just roll with it. Anyway,
that could be a really funny April Fool's video.
It would. To be honest, I don't remember when I said it. Before we did reviews, I thought it'd be really funny to... This is when The Last of Us Part 2 was coming out, Inside Baseball here. I said to Hunter, wouldn't it be really funny if one of us wrote a Last of Us Part 2 review? Not having played the game, just going off of vibes only and seeing how close we could get to a legitimate review of The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I think we would have been pretty close, to be honest. I think because I was going with the vibes of, because the leaks had started to, like, noise about leaks had started to kind of surface. So I was like, people are going to hate it. Like, people are going to be screaming about it, but I bet you I'd secretly love it. So I was like, all ready to go. Oh, well, this week, we're not making fake reviews, and we're not reviewing games that are coming out next week. That's next week.
Giving you real, genuine content this week.
Real, genuine content this week.
Not filler.
Not filler. We're going to spend the first half of this not filler episode can't say it with a straight face, talking about games conferences. We're at the end of conference season, so we're going to talk about a load of games conferences, past, present, and future, and we're going to rate what we think the best conferences are, from Nintendo Directs to State of Plays to whatever you want to call them. We're going to put them in a really professional tier list. You'll see it later. It looks beautiful. You'll love it. It's going to be great. And then we're going to spend the second half, because it's been a few weeks since we have had a chance to really just sit down and talk about what we've been playing. So Hunter's been playing Humanity. We'll talk about that. Kyle, you've been playing an indie game that I remember you telling me the name of quite literally 10 minutes ago, and I've already forgotten it, but we'll talk about that. That was it. Perfect. And then
this is how I'm usually treated around here, folks.
No,
I remembered you.
Exactly.
No, in my defense, it's not a you problem, Kyle. It's a me problem. Okay,
I know it is.
It's a me problem.
It's not you. It's the games you play.
I had an experience at work this week where I told someone that I find it really hard to lock into a conversation unless I'm like, if I'm truly interested in something, I'll fully lock in, right? But if someone even goes slightly off topic, if it's a film that I haven't seen or whatever, I zone out. And I told someone at work, and literally in the same conversation within like 3 minutes, I zoned out instantly again. And they were like, "You're doing it now." I'm like, "No, I'm not. You can't prove it. You can't prove it." But yeah, so you've been playing that. I've already forgotten it again. But hey, Hunter's been playing Humanity.
This is the man who runs our podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
And he wants to do more. What a psychopath.
This is the guy who signs our checks. Our metaphorical checks.
Our metaphor. Let's be real here. If there was any money involved in this project, it would not be me handling it. That would be a disaster. I've played quite a few games recently. I played Full Throttle, the Double Fine, LucasArts game. I played Life is Strange again. I can talk about that. I can talk about that game forever. And I also played another point and click game. I was just in a story mood. I played Deponia, which is a really old kind of point and click game. So I can talk about all of those. We got plenty to talk about. There's loads of stuff to talk about. So come on in, sit tight. Ooh. It might be a long one. It could also be a short one because I don't know how long I can talk about opening night live, to be honest. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you're new here, if you could help us get to 200 subscribers on YouTube by going to youtube.com/HotGamersOnly, we're literally 2 away. We're going to release a spoiler cast for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. When we hit 200 subs, me and Hunter are going to record that hopefully within the next week. So please subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Tell a friend. Follow us on podcast services as well. Give us a thumbs up. Follow us. You know the jazz. We really do appreciate you guys hanging out with us every single week. Every Monday, we're here. So yeah, be here. It's fun. Maybe. Sometimes. It's at least fun like 60% of the time. We'll see.
I at least have fun while we're doing it.
And that's all that matters, really, isn't it? That's all that matters.
Immaculate.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So, Hunter, This was your terrible idea of a podcast topic. We're ranking video game events.
I got this idea months ago, and it wasn't opportune, and no one else came up with anything better. So,
just like my backlog, we leave the topics that we don't like just in a pile, and then when we run out of good ones, we have to sift through the meh sometimes. And this is what we're coming up with. Which, to be fair, I don't think it's a meh topic. It just also is. It's funny that we're doing this.
Subject matter is pretty
after
meh.
And not before. But you know, it's fine. We had games to review. We had Zelda. It's fine. We've been busy. Give us a break, man. We're fine. We're vibing. It's cool. So
just let us have the one filler episode, please.
Yeah, it's fine. So anyway, I'm going to swap screens in a second now. It's going to be inside kind of. This is inside baseball. Okay. What you're about to see is the bottom of our show notes document. Every week we make timestamps. We have a show notes document where we can all edit it, okay? What you're about to see has been at the bottom of our spreadsheet for this document for about a year. So we didn't do this especially. It's always been there behind the scenes. This little emoji's been looking at me for the past year while we're doing this on the second monitor.
The duck was added recently.
There we go.
Kane wanted to give him a little pet when we had him on the show.
It's always broken when I'm looking at it on my phone.
We're so professional here. You can tell that we've been doing this for over 3 years. Anyway, so yeah, we've written a load of events here. We just went with whatever we could think of, to be honest. So some of these will be a discussion. Some of these will be a joke. It's fine. And we've got S through D. We could have made a tier maker, but also, have you been here before? Welcome to Hot Gamers Only. It's an audio podcast, guys. Calm down. Get off your high horse. Look at the cowboy man doing the nay-nay. We'll enjoy that, dude. Audio listeners, I'd really encourage you to literally just go to this point on the video and then go back to audio, because this is the peak for the video version. You're not going to gain anything else from this one. Right, say goodbye to Cowboy because he's going to go away for a little bit. We'll update that later and we'll show it you. But there we go. So I'm going to read the list of things we've got here. We've got Summer Game Fest, we've got Game Awards, and we've got Opening Night Live, all the Geoff Keighley shows. We've got Nintendo Directs, we've got Xbox showcases, PlayStation showcases, State of Plays, because Sony differentiates for some reason. We don't know anymore. It used to be because of quality, not anymore. Then we get into specific shows. So particularly we're doing Square, Capcom, and Ubisoft. We could have done Bethesda, but Bethesda's now Xbox. I forgot about Bethesda, but they only did like 3 of them before they got merged.
That's true.
And in fact, you know what? Fuck it. I am putting it on here because 16 times the details a funny meme and it deserves to go above Square Enix. So I'm just going to stick Bethesda there just so we can do that later. So yeah, Square Enix, Capcom, and Ubisoft forward. Then just different ones, just because we miss Jeff Kaplan so much. We just wanted to give Jeff Kaplan a bit of love. So we're going to do Overwatch developer updates pre-2020 and post-2020, basically when Jeff Kaplan left. I think he left in 2021, actually. Doesn't matter. COVID happened. The direct stopped. Ignore it.
Jeff was gone.
And then we've got some of the more niche ones. Obviously, you've got a load of indie directs. We're not going to judge those because we don't really... You know, we've watched them, we see them, but they're not as frequent as all these other kinds of shows, so we won't really put them in the same category. Not because of the quality. The quality is usually higher because the indie games are cool, but, you know, it's a different ballpark. But we have got the PC gaming show and the Devolver Directs as well, so we've got plenty to go through. Where do you want to start? That's the real question. No pressure or anything.
I think we could probably start with the big 3, Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Okay.
I think that makes the most sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Nintendo because they pioneered this kind of format that everybody has now stolen and
it's true
bastardized over the past decade? Yeah. Let's do it, right? So here's my thing with Nintendo Directs. I think people are expecting, if we're talking about this, to put Nintendo Directs pretty high up. And I think they should be high up. But hear me out. The quality of Nintendo Directs fluctuates so fucking much.
Yeah.
That they
there's been so many of them.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say really is that like I'd say that I can remember more of the highs than I do the lows. Where I can think about like Metroid Dread's announcement, a dozen different Zelda trailers, and
the one time me and Kyle were happy because Xenoblade got announced and everyone else hated that direct, you know?
Xenoblade, the Pyra Mythra Smash Bros thing, and the Splatoon announcements was all on that one. And then like as far as directs in the more negative trending, right now the only one on the top of my head is the
Farm Direct. Yeah.
The Farm Direct.
Which still had a Zelda trailer, so it's like
no,
I had
it was
something
still
to chew
awful.
on.
It was still awful.
Still had like 9 farm games.
It's really bad.
Nearly in a row.
Yeah. There's some highs and there's some lows, but I think the difference between the lows of a Nintendo Direct and the lows of everybody else's is most of the time the lows are just meh when other people's lows are really bad. Where it's like, you get 7 farm games in one Direct for some reason, but there's still something there for somebody. Like, I think Fire Emblem was at that one for the 2 people that cared about Fire Emblem, right?
And like, because Nintendo's been doing the Direct so long, like some of these idiots are still doing bad comedy on a stage and stuff too.
We'll get in the middle of
So, you know, at least the bad doesn't overstay itself, and it will just move on to something hopefully better, possibly still pretty
Who knows? But yeah, like I say, I think for the most part they're solid, right? I'd put them in A just because that's what they do. I was
kind of thinking the same thing.
They're not S because they're not always a hit, and it's not. There being a Nintendo Direct doesn't mean the quality's always here, because sometimes you will get a incredible Direct where you get Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and a load of other stuff, right? And then there'll be other Directs and Animal Crossing and all that jazz. You're like, oh, that's sick. And you'll have other Directs where you genuinely just get like, okay, you know, Xenoblade and Fire Emblem, which some people love, but other people are it's gonna be a very hit and miss, where some people will hate that Direct and some people will love it.
The more niche games.
I think that that's fine. I think that's great. Then everybody else around 2020, they started doing their own jazz. This is when they started copying. 2020 was the year of copying. COVID happened. Everyone was like, time to start copying the Nintendo homework. So I guess first up, Sony. They've got 2 showcases. They've got PlayStation Showcase and they've got State of Play.
How much of a difference is there really between these two?
State of Play's fucking
as a passive observer.
Before this last showcase, you could make the argument that the showcases are where they showed off more of their bigger, like, first party kind of stuff.
Definitely.
And they were usually a better time than State of Plays. This last showcase, out of the 3 of them, has been the worst one because it wasn't good.
If we were talking about the first 2 PlayStation showcases, I would have put them in an A.
Yeah.
They were great.
Yeah.
Their average.
If we're talking about that third showcase was like a fucking D. So it's like the highest I will allow them to be now is a B on PlayStation showcases until they prove to me that was a misfire. Like, it's like... I'm not saying it's on war crime level of Jeff Keighley, but sometimes...
They'll be staying there and for another year and a half at the pace that they've been sending these things out.
True.
And then, like, State of Play has had a amusing, like, reversal of this, where the last... Well, I don't know the last one. The one that they'd had last year around the summertime was good. But, you know... 2 or 3 months before that, we also had the Exoprimal and Diofield Chronicle State of Play.
Again, they're hit and miss, right?
Awful.
Sometimes you get some good ones, like there was one on Crash 4 and stuff like that, where there was some fun stuff that wouldn't necessarily show up at a PlayStation showcase because the game was already announced, but you got an extended look and some cool little behind the scenes like interviews and stuff like that.
Or, like, the first couple of them were fine. Like, that's where they revealed the Resident Evil 3 remake. And then the one after that, I don't remember what was there, but I think it was still alright. And then eventually they started getting like, oh, this is just wasting my time.
I think the second one was the Crash 4 one, if I remember correctly. But yeah, there's a load of stuff.
State of Play is where Deathloop went on its world tour.
I'd put it...
C.
If we're going the lowest we're going is C. If the lowest we're going is D, then for now I'd suggest a C, because there are worse war crimes on this world than a state of play.
I mean, this is a text document. I can just chuck in more stuff if we need. I can put in an F tier if you want and put this in D.
We shall put it at a C for now. And if I get angry at,
we'll see where the other stuff falls.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll see where the other things lie. Which leaves us with Xbox out of the big three.
Yeah.
And Xbox has always been the weakest up until recently. This year, I don't know what Xbox decided to do differently. Maybe it's because they have games now, but they
decided to buy a lot of companies.
Yeah, and they decided,
make video games, and now all the video games are made.
We're going to have an Xbox showcase, and then we're also going to have these smaller Xbox Directs, which tell you just like updates from studios, which are more personal interviews. And they were both really good. You had Hi-Fi Rush Shadow Drop. You had great updates on some good games, hopefully, like Forza, and some bad games like Redfall, oopsie doopsie. But, you know, it wasn't bad at that point. We didn't know it was that bad at that point.
Yeah.
So again, I would probably...
Not for nothing, but Xbox... They'd had good shows before. Like they weren't always going to like for E3 and stuff. I wouldn't say that all of them were great, but I remember liking their 2018 show.
Yeah.
So
that show last year was fine. Like I didn't hate it. There's always cool stuff at Xbox. Like I hate the game now, but Scarlet Nexus was all over Xbox showcases and stuff in 2020 and 2019. Mm-hmm. There's always some interesting stuff. It's just a lot of times it's a lot of, you know, dragging and boring stuff that some of the third-party games, especially.
Yeah. A lot of the time, it's also like every time they do one of these things or one of their bigger things, there has to be an Elder Scrolls thing now. There has to be a Sea of Thieves thing now. They have to show us a car.
Take the boxes off. Maybe a car shape, like maybe a car-based Xbox. You know.
Yeah.
Next year, if they put a car in Sea of Thieves.
That sounds epic. I'd play it. Why not?
Yeah. I don't know.
Or they put a ship in Forza.
Oh, why not, dude? Sick.
Why not? That sounds pretty epic.
I'm feeling B for this one.
Here's the thing: it's better than PlayStation. It's better than fucking State of Play. They're better than State of Plays. This is why I'm already suggesting we move State of Play down to D. This is why I'm already saying we move State of Play down to D, because I don't think it's level PlayStation. I still don't think they're on the level of a PlayStation showcase.
Yeah.
Because I still haven't gone, holy shit, Resident... You know, I've still not gone, holy shit, Resident Evil. Was Resident Evil 4... That was in the State of Play, wasn't it?
That was in the State of Play.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
This is the reason the State of Play's average is... like, yeah.
Fuck, okay. Xbox Showcase and State of Play on C, but Xbox Showcase better, because on average it's better, right? Okay,
Yeah.
I have spoken. That's it. I can't do this. It's too hard.
All right. That's fair.
Okay.
All right.
Do we move on to the holy trinity of Geoff? You want to do third party?
Oh, you want to do Geoff? I was gonna hold him for last.
Okay, we'll hold Geoff for last then. Okay, Square Enix can go in fucking D tier. Can we all agree on that?
Oh my god, the last one they did was Babylon's Fall.
Fucking awful.
D or F?
D.
Okay.
They've had some good ones. They had the one where they had Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And then what was the thing where they announced True Colors? Whatever that was.
I think that was the same one.
That was also Square Enix Presents as well.
Yeah, okay, so...
It wasn't the same one as FF7, it was the year after. It was the digital one they did afterwards.
Even though they spoiled more than they should have, but...
Definitely.
You know, the content of the actual games they were showing was fine, but they've also, when they're bad, they're really bad too.
Really? I hadn't noticed.
So yeah, D sounds right for that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And sometimes they spend too long talking about Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah, but the game wasn't... We didn't know it was shit yet. Until we saw that gameplay, and then we knew it was shit. But come on, Carl.
They insist on talking about it after the game came out, though, too.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Therein lies the problem.
You see, the problem is we were talking about Atlas last week. Square Enix is one of those companies where I didn't realize how much I love their video games but hate them as a company, where it's like one of those things where I was like, I really like Kingdom Hearts. Replaying
He
Life is
gets it
Strange.
now.
Spoiler for later, but like replaying through Life is Strange 1 has reminded me how that's one of my favorite games of all time, and it's published by Square Enix, and I fucking hate that. Like, there's genuinely a part of me that's like, damn it, why? And it's just like, it sucks. It genuinely sucks. It's not great. But oh well. Right, Capcom
isn't great.
Stick It in fucking F, and it's never seen the light of day.
As the biggest Capcom fan here, I would say that this is an F. I don't watch these because Capcom gives their best stuff to show to other people.
That one that was last week.
Sometimes they put it back in their own direct.
That one from last week was fucking horrendous. It was really bad. What a waste of my time.
Like, if there ever is a cool announcement at one of these, it's only ever one, and it's only ever like 3 minutes, and it's like maybe I'll want to watch a specific game's more extensive look sometimes, in which I still wouldn't watch the Capcom showcase. I would just watch the video of the isolated game afterwards.
Yeah,
we watched the Capcom showcase, and it was definitely not worth it. It was awful. It was pretty bad. They've never show anything really, or they just re-show trailers. Like they re-showed the trailer that they showed at Xbox for that weird not Onimusha game. They just showed the exact same trailer. It was very weird. Yeah, stick them in F. Fuck you, Capcom. Yep. You make great games, but come on, make a good show. You don't have to give everything to Xbox and Sony. Bethesda. Hear me out.
There were like
hear me out. They only ever did 3 shows. But they were fucking good shows. Let's not talk about how bad Fallout 76 was. Let's not talk about the fact that Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6 were literally a decade away and they're still not out. Let's not talk about that. But there's a show.
The only one I can really distinctly remember is the first one, and I do remember that being good.
2016 was phenomenal. 2017 was also pretty cool, because I believe that's when they started... God, was it what year was Wolfenstein 2?
The Evil Within would have got the trailer.
So it would have been Evil Within 2. It would have been Wolfenstein 2. It was they went on their apology tour for Fallout 76. It was still a good show. It was a pretty good show. They showed a lot of stuff. 2018. I believe that's when they announced Doom Eternal and stuff like that. So it was like there was some good stuff. They always have great shows. That's the thing with them. They always have good shows. And as much as I will always mock Todd Howard for that Fallout 76 spiel that he gave for half an hour, he is such a charismatic individual that even him talking about a shit game is entertaining. Like, not even in like a memeing about it internet historian video way. Like, I could genuinely go back and watch him talk about that. I could go and watch that part of the press conference and still find it entertaining knowing that the game's a pile of shit. Like, or was a pile of shit. He just is charming. And we talk about Xbox having a really great showcase this year. That deep dive into Starfield, for many people, was the highlight of that show. And, you know, it's kind of unprecedented. Someone going, hey guys, here's a 40-minute behind-the-scenes kind of look at Starfield, and it isn't delayed, and it's actually coming out. It's pretty fucking cool. I think Bethesda... I would put Bethesda, even though they only ever did 3, I genuinely would put Bethesda at a B. I think they were solid. And in terms of live shows, I think they were always great. And as someone who doesn't necessarily love Bethesda... I always liked watching their show.
I like their shows quite a bit for only liking a handful of their games, and the games that I did like from the Bethesda umbrella was always smaller, the smaller ones too. So it's like I wasn't gonna pop for Fallout regardless of whether it was 76 or 5. So,
and I think Xbox is learning from the Bethesda showcases and all that kind of stuff as they go forward. I think that's going to follow through, and they're going to keep doing that kind of stuff. Like I say, I loved that deep dive on Starfield. I know we we didn't watch it, but I went back and watched it, and I was really shocked at how much they did show. And maybe that's just Starfield, because Starfield seems like one of those games where I'm like,
it's not real.
It's not real, but also the fact that they showed 40 minutes and then teased that there also might be powers in that game, and then to just leave you with the, oh shit, they haven't even scratched the surface of this game. They've done like this. They've done a 40-minute deep dive and we still don't know anything about it. I'm like, that's really impressive. And it also makes me scared because I'm like, wow, 2023. I think 2023 is one of those years that's going to go down as a 2017 of fucking hell. Did we have some really good games this year?
Yeah.
I think we're not going to get another good year like this again for a little while, because, man, you're looking back at it and you're like, wow, Tears of the Kingdom, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Street Fighter 6, Hi-Fi Rush, Starfield, all of these games, Dead Space, Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man 2.
I think Alan Wake is going to be pretty good.
Alan Wake.
Did we say Hi-Fi Rush?
Yeah, I said Hi-Fi Rush. Okay. Forza, if you're a racing fan, there is genuinely so many good games coming out this year. I don't think we're going to get one again like this for a while anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go, Bethesda. As for Ubisoft, dude. Get him down there.
Putting him next to Capcom or Squeenix.
They're better than Capcom, but not by fucking much.
Yeah.
I don't know, Hunter. Would you disagree?
I'd say that they probably belong in D. Yeah, because like,
fine, put them in fucking. Well, that's the thing. Are they better than Square Enix?
Are they on par with Square Enix?
I'm trying to rack my legit, since they've done like the video ones, like ever since moving beyond E3. I've not skimmed them. So, that might be an indictment of them going into F now that I think about it. But as far as watching their E3 shows and stuff, those were always like, sometimes they would show cool things, but also there was always going to be a stupid Just Dance routine. There was always going to be...
Year. Oh my God, someone said on Twitter, I don't remember who it is, but it was the funniest joke of not E3 to me, was someone tweeted, and it was like genuinely I cackled like pretty loudly. People were looking at me where I was like, the Just Dance 2023 number Ubisoft Forward shows that nature's healing, and I'm like, it's true. It's like, it truly is the nature's healing moment.
Specific thing that's always confused me is Just Dance is a game that regular people who aren't watching E3 are gonna buy. Why do you keep advertising it to the schlubs who are, keeping up with the video game news?
Yeah. I mean, even if you do, you've got to... It's unfortunate because it's like Ubisoft doesn't have that unique and diverse a portfolio, especially nowadays. It's like everyone's screaming Prince of Persia's back, and that's the big thing, and that's the big thing for them for the next 5 years, is Prince of Persia's back, woo.
Can't wait to see like 5 of them.
It's like, how everyone jokes about how it's like, oh, there's only 8 types of levels in a Mario game. It's like there's only like 5. There's only like 7
Ubisoft game.
Well, there's like 8 types of Ubisoft game that always show up at the same event. You've got your Just Dance, your Assassin's Creed, you've got your Far Cry that has to show up at some point. Watch Dogs shows up every 2 years or 3 years. You've then got your
extreme sports game.
Some extreme sports game. Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six, bollocks, whatever, Extraction.
It won't ever be Splinter Cell because they hate you.
Won't be Splinter Cell because they hate fun. Then you always have that weird battle royale or shooter that isn't a Tom Clancy game, but also isn't going to do very well. So you had like that battle royale one for a couple of years. You now have this X-Defiant, which looks like it's trying to be a Call of Duty game. You have one of those. And then you have your family kind of game. You have your Mario Rabbids. You have your whatever have you that they always make every once in a while. That's it. They just keep
make sure it's not Rayman.
No. He can be in the DLC.
He's not allowed to come back.
He can be in the DLC for Rabbids, Kyle. He can be in the DLC for Rabbids, and that's about it.
That's as far as he'll go.
But I think the main problem is the reason Ubisoft's worse is Square Enix, they pull a stinker and they walk away.
Yeah.
Ubisoft pulls a stinker, comes out on stage, talks about the fart they just ripped for 5 minutes, then shows a different fucking POV of the fart in a second trailer, and then does the same thing on a different day. And it's like, it's like I skimmed through this one and it was like, this is how it went, right? This was the Assassin's Creed Mirage section. CG trailer for Assassin's Creed Mirage. Someone comes out. Assassin's Creed Mirage, big boy, big game. Play some gameplay on the screen. Let's talk about it. Assassin's Creed is a new franchise. It's very cool. It's very popular. Everyone loves Assassin's Creed. Thank you for coming to my 5-minute talk. let's play the gameplay review trailer, and then they play a second trailer and it fades to black, and then they introduce someone else to go, I'm here to talk about Far Cry, and you hit your head on the fucking table. And it's that's what happens every year.
Or Far Cry, but with aliens this time.
I love Avatar. It's my favorite franchise.
Honestly, as far as like things that were meant to go together, Ubisoft and Avatar makes a lot of sense for the wrong reasons.
My favorite part was when James Cameron came out. It was on the screen. It was like they did like a recorded message. It was like, I'm so happy for Ubisoft to be working in the world of Pandora. Like, that's great. Good for you, Jimmy. You have fun making Avatar 5 in 2032. I'll be 34 years old when Avatar finishes.
Jeez.
I was like, what, 10 when it started? Like, what
you could argue that you should have been 10 when it finished, too.
True. Yeah, I'm sorry, Hunter. They deserve F. They deserve F.
No, I was just... Yeah, I wasn't gonna, like, D was the ceiling for them. F, I understand completely. Because, like, honestly, let's see. The Mario Rabbids thing, I think they revealed and not Nintendo, so that was kind of cool when they showed it. I was like, oh, neat idea.
Yeah, and the guy, David Soliday, or whatever, the game director, was crying in the audience and stuff like that. Because he was so proud of it. And everyone was like laughing, kind of making a fool of him on Twitter in a way. Some people were really nice, but other people were being dicks about it. Because like, he's crying over a Mario Rabbids game, and then it came out and it was a really good video game. And you're like, yeah, I can see why he's full.
Why do people gotta be?
It's the internet, Hunter. Welcome to the internet, buddy.
Man, we need to bully everybody all the time.
Anyway, now it's time for a bit of a meme. Overwatch developer updates. Post 2020,
this is all you.
Stick 'em in D for post 2020. Stick 'em in. I'm not putting it in S because that would be funny. That would be funny, though, wouldn't it? That would be funny for the people that skip to the end. No, stick him in A. Stick him in A. Geoff was a treasure. I miss him dearly. Where are you, Geoff? Come back to me, please, in anything, any way, shape, or form. My favorite part was, I don't know, it was one of the first examples to me of a company, which is funny for Blizzard, just being really transparent and open about development and having... Just not having someone, because he was like, we want someone to be open with the community and be kind of a figurehead. And Geoff was like, I don't want anybody else going in front of the camera because people are gonna harass and bully and be horrible because it's the internet. So I'm just gonna take the punt. I'm just gonna take the punt of that. Yeah. So everyone can be angry at Geoff. And I'm like, he was just a really good figurehead for that community. And there was so much stupid and dumb stuff that they did. And back then, updates felt meaningful. And that when a character was revealed, you'd have Geoff sit down and talk for 20 minutes about their backstory before even talking about the abilities or whatever. And now it's just a fucking shitty trailer or whatever. It's garbage. And also there was like the Yuletide thing where they had him sitting at a fireplace. Yeah. Great stuff.
That's the only one of those updates I've seen, and that's because it's one that you showed me. And that's what I'll always think of when I think of Geoff.
It was like a 12-hour stream every time. And obviously they did some fancy trickery in recording so that he only recorded, I think, an hour of footage each time, but it was cool. Mm-hmm. And they always teased new events and characters and stuff. It was always fun.
Yeah.
PC gaming show. Can we? Is it wrong to put it in D? Is it wrong?
I don't think so, because really, I don't ever bother watching these because why would I? Sometimes the best thing I get out of them is sometimes on the cliff notes of like IGN or whoever would be recapping it. I'll be like, oh, that indie seems kind of cool. And I'm going to have to wait a year and a half to be able to play it on something I want to play it on.
I think the problem that I have is they're always so long. They're like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And they always drag to hell. So I remember when they were announcing that Persona 4 Golden was coming to Steam and it leaked that it was at the PC gaming show. So I watched it. And it's literally, it's like, play a trailer, make some, they've got like a guy that's hosting it, and they make like jokes, and it's like these segments can be 2 minutes at a time sometimes before the next thing, and it's like the pacing's so fucking bad where you just want the cliff notes, like genuinely. Yeah. Like they'll show some cool stuff, but you just want the cliff notes because it's not a fun experience unless you are a big PC gamer and you just really want to care about it, and that's the only show you're gonna watch because that's all you care about. It just fucking drags and it's boring and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Saying that, they still have more high quality stuff than a Square Enix presents, so high D. That's where I'd stick them. Yeah, high D. Sorry, am I the person that's highlighting it? My apologies.
You were.
Well, there you go. I didn't mean to do it. There you go. And then finally, Devolver Direct before we get into Geoff's trilogy.
So,
Healy trilogy.
Devolver, if nothing else, I always have fun watching that. They're short enough to never be they're short enough to never overstay their welcome because it's only ever like 20-30 minutes. It's always some kind of weird fever dream, and usually there's at least 2 or 3 games that they're talking about that I'm vaguely interested in.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. B, maybe C. I'm not sure.
I'd say put them at the end of B.
Yeah.
Let's be kind. Because they do put a lot of effort in, and there's a lot of stupid stuff that they do all the time. They kind of make a story out of it and all that jazz. They try, even if they only show... It's only like a 10-minute show sometimes, 15 minutes. They always try. Right.
Sometimes that's all you need.
It's time for the Geoff trilogy. Everyone's favourite trilogy of video game events. Where will they rank?
I can't wait till he makes a 4th one, so he has one for each quarter.
Shall we go from worst to best?
Might as well.
Yeah, let's do it that way.
Opening Night Live fucking sucks.
It is the
As
worst.
a European, I am offended that this is the show that he does for us because I wish that he'd ignore us, to be honest. It fucking sucks. And because it's in a European time zone, I'm the only person that ever can watch it because everyone else is at work. So I just end up watching it for 2 hours by myself and crying.
Yep. And he hates himself every time, honestly.
And every time I say I don't,
we could probably
I'm not gonna do it again.
Geoff for psychic damage at this point.
Like, it fucking sucks.
Legit. Like, maximum one announcement that's cool every time. Sometimes none. I don't think I liked anything that they showed last year.
Wasn't that where they announced Last of Us? No, Summer Game Fest. Fucking hell, yeah. Stick it in fucking...
Like,
Super
Cult of the Lamb was announced at
it's
Summer
not,
Game.
I wouldn't say it's Super F. It's
Lamb
better than a Capcom Presents. Fucking hell, it's not bad.
Look, man, I've never watched Opening Night Live. I don't know the quality.
It's better than Ubisoft Forward as well, to be honest.
Okay.
High F. He just has never shown anything that's worth your fucking damn time. That's the problem. There's always stuff that's like, oh, that's kind of interesting, or they'll be like, oh, look, here's a new Fortnite season, or a Fall Guys thing, or Cult of the a couple of indie things.
I was like,
or,
that's cool.
Hey, here's Death Stranding Director's Cut, or something slightly interesting and cool. But there's one thing.
Even the stuff that's cool isn't substantial in a way. Like Cult of the Lamb, I would have seen at something else at some point anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So that's where I'd stick it.
Summer Game Mess.
It's going up. If you'd asked me this time last year, I would have put it in D. I think it's moved up to a C.
Yeah, I'd probably say so.
People shat on this year's Summer Game Fest, but I don't think they've realised how bad the state of this fucking PlayStation Showcase was, to be honest. I think it'd been a week. People have forgotten the fucking torture that they've been through. There was some real low points of that state of play, that PlayStation Showcase. Especially if you were watching it live, because you still had hope. Yeah, I'd put Summer Game Fest in the middle. Like, there's always something.
Yeah, see, there's usually at least 1 or 2 things.
And even if it gets leaked, you can't blame Geoff for Metal Gear being leaked to high and hell, or you can, not Metal Gear. What am I thinking of? It was in the middle of the show. Kyle, what am I thinking of? We watched that together. God, announcement. God, am I really gonna have to? No, because that was Xbox.
No, that was Xbox.
Summer Game Fest announcements. I wasn't thinking of Metal Gear. I was thinking
Metal.
Last year, the Last of Us thing got leaked. So,
no, yeah, I might have been thinking. I might have been blurring that, but I'm trying to remember what.
Did something else?
Was it Mortal Kombat? No. What was it?
No, Mortal Kombat was already announced.
Cage, no.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm actually going through all this. I also love that people have dog shit websites that don't load properly. I'm not going to say the name of the website, but your website sucks, Eurogamer. Fix your shit.
But hotgamersonly.com loads perfectly every time.
It only updates once a month anyway. We're slow to reviews. We're sorry, Zelda was big. Okay, leave us alone.
Guys, it wasn't that.
Final Fantasy VII. That's what I was thinking of. That got fucking leaked.
Yeah.
It was leaked that it was going to be there. There you go. I was like, there was a Japanese game that was supposed to be there. We all knew was there. We were waiting. That was what I was thinking of. Final Fantasy VII. But they have those things. It's just only a couple, and then there's a load of... It fluctuates so badly.
Yeah.
Which leaves us with Game Awards.
It's really funny, the trajectory that this show has bounced back and forth between.
Yeah.
Ask us next year. It might be a different ranking. Yeah. It changes every year.
If you would have asked me like 2019, I would have been like, B, sure. And
last year's was pretty good.
Last year's was good. It might have brought it back up. I'm just sitting here trying to...
last year's was the best Game Awards that they ever did, in my opinion, in terms of reveals and pacing and...
Yeah.
I know we shouldn't really take the awards into this and more of what the showcases are. But, funny moments like Christopher Judge doing an 8-minute speech and giving away 8 Steam Decks in the process. And, it's quite funny. It's good
if we're going to ding people like Ubisoft for the bad, stage hoopla that they do, we can give this points for the nicer things that happen there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I definitely would... Yeah, I at the moment I'd put it in B for how well it was. Come back in 6 months and we'll have this discussion again.
Yeah.
Well, move up or down. Place your bets now.
Oh man.
If I were you, I'd put the odds are probably on down, but
probably, yeah.
But no,
I think for like the awards content this year, it'll be pretty boring because we all know it's going to be Zelda sweep.
I still think is don't count your eggs yet, to be honest. Because who knows how Final Fantasy 16 is going to review, who knows how Starfield's going to review. I still, like I say, before that Starfield Direct, I was like, Zelda's a lock, and I still think Zelda's a lock. But I think it's going to be one of those things where I feel like there could be an upset. In the same way I was like, Elden Ring's a lock, but there's like a 5% chance God of War could be an upset here. And I think it'll be the same way where I'm like, there's a 5% chance 16 or Starfield will upset here. Which is at least my hope. But we'll see. Anyway, it is time. Are you guys ready to see the fucking whip nay emoji again? There we go. Perfect. This is it. Anonymous Mink. Oh no, Kyle! Your anonymous username's been leaked. What a shame. Anyway.
That ain't me.
Oh, Hunter. Sorry, Hunter's anonymous.
They randomly generate every time.
Yeah, I know they do. That was the joke. God damn it. I'm wasted on you guys. Anyway, here's our tier list, our very professional tier list. Here, let me zoom in for you guys. There you go. Look at that. Look at that big
Cowboy because he's never let us down.
He never lets us down. At A, we've got Nintendo Direct, the Overwatch developer updates pre-2020, my favourite press conferences. At B, we got the PlayStation Showcase, Game Awards, Bethesda and Devolver Directs. At C, Xbox Showcases, Summer Game Fests, and State of Plays. In D tier, we've got the PC Gaming Show, Square Enix Presents, and Overwatch developer updates post-2020. That could go to an F, to be honest. Opening Night Live, in F. Ubisoft Forward in F, Capcom Presents in F. If I was to make any predictions, these are my predictions if we were to change these in a year. Overwatch developer update post 2020 would go to an F because that's just going to go into the shitter forevermore. Opening Night Live.
Much like Overwatch.
Opening Night Live will go to D. I'm just saying that for copium because I know I'm going to watch it again, so I'm just going to say that one for the hope. Xbox will go high, PlayStation will go in the shitter, Nintendo will go to a U when they call it the Switch U and it sells 2 fucking consoles, and we go back to Nintendo failing, and that's my predictions for next year.
Epic.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. You know, there's definitely more on the bad side than the good side here, and it makes you wonder, why do we like E3 in the first place?
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing: if we included classic shows like Nintendo's classic type of broadcasts and Sony's classic type of broadcasts, we'd be in a different ballpark.
Yeah, we would have actually had Sony's
2015 to 17.
2015 to, that would be S rank for sure.
Were fucking incredible. I remember waking up ready to go to school and checking online and seeing that they had announced a remake of Crash Bandicoot. I remember that. And then going, wait, that wasn't even the biggest thing because they showed God of War in the same damn show. And they showed Spider-Man in the same damn show. And, like, fucking hell. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, there was even even back in 2013, they absolutely murdered Xbox with their clowning them on there, sharing games and whatnot. Good times.
Classic video.
It was a classic, but then I also think sometimes where I'm like, we clowned on them, but looking back, because their whole idea was, the console was always online, which was a big shitter, but their idea was, you put the disc in, and you can't trade the disc between your friends, which is dumb, but you get a digital and a physical copy then. The digital copy you get a digital copy automatically redeemed. I'm like, that would be a really nice feature nowadays to have a digital copy, because I love discs. It's like, I'm a fucking hoarder. I've got a load of discs, but also I hate swapping discs. So if I could just put the disc in once and then put it on my shelf, that would be great. That would be a good future. But oh well. Anyway, that's that. Now I can use this thing for our actual show notes. There we go. Perfect.
Actual purpose.
So, what have we been playing? Who wants to go first? I don't know. It's story time. Hunter, do you want to go first? Yours is technically the newer game out of everybody.
Yeah, all right. So, earlier today when I got home from work for about an hour and a half, I played Humanity, that little puzzle game that the team that made Tetris Effect and Res Infinite made, about the little spectral dog guiding people.
That's on PS Extra, right?
Yeah. It's on the tier 2 and above.
Yeah, that thing. The thing that looks like the mini games in Rift Apart, the little Clank mini game where you have to guide all the Clanks. Which I loved those puzzles in Rift Apart. To be honest, I really liked the way they played. So I've always looked at Humanity and I'm like, one day I might give it a try.
And as a chill little thing to do for a little bit here, because I didn't really want to start something bigger to play for a couple hours and only have like whatever. So I just started this and I was like, not bad. I could see. I don't know if I'd finish it, but I could see myself playing more of it. But so the whole idea is basically just guide the people from whatever they're doing. Without your input, they'll just walk in the direction that they're facing in perpetuity, off of ledges and whatever. Don't worry about them. Their bodies can break, but their spirits will respawn or something. They tell you. You direct them with as you do like the prologue, they give you different commands that you can tell them. So the first one is just turn, and so you just point your dog where you want to put them, and you go this way, and then you bark, and it's a little arrow, and it's centered around directing them that way. And then slowly they give you like a jump, a high jump, a long jump to command all these people to do. You're basically constructing like a Rube Goldberg machine of people's souls to funnel them into these goals to put, ferry them on to the next stage of purgatory or whatever is going on in the setting of this game. I'm unsure about that so far, but that's not. I'm not sure that's super relevant. They had little extra bits of intrigue rather than just the most direct method of A to B. They give you these little golden guys to try and get as extra challenges, like the strawberries in Celeste or something. Not required. Getting some actually. a bit more substantial, I guess you could say, because they're not required, but you get little extra features if you get so many of them. Like you could a fast forward button if you get like 2 or 3 of them. Thankfully, that one's unlocked pretty early, and then after that, it's like if you retry, you can have it set your commands. You can have like the commands that you left. So like if you like screwed up, but you only screwed up at the end, you could have the rest of what you were doing set there, and then you could just run to the whatever you needed to fix and adjust that as you need to, kind of thing. So that's super helpful. I've been going for them because it's not that hard to pull off, and yeah, it's good enough to entice me to keep trying to get the golden guys for now. So that's nice. There was a little extra level, like there's a little linear path through the chapter, and there's a little couple of side levels that you can do, and I felt motivated to do the side level too. So, that's better than some games can manage for me.
No, fair enough. I definitely need to check it out at some point. Obviously, June's pretty busy, so maybe late July, August time. We'll see.
July's I do want to check it out. So,
what are you talking about? Pikmin 4 Sweep.
Pikmin Sweep.
Pikmin Sweep time! Hooray! All 5 Pikmin fans getting ready to play Pikmin all month.
And that new 1-2 Switch game.
That's 30th of June, baby. Where you remember you're only allowed to play it on the 30th of June. That's the rules. One day. Right. Everybody 1-2 Switch for a single day, guys. That's the rule.
Sam will do it.
I really hope he doesn't.
Like, I really hope he doesn't.
Please don't. Sam, please don't.
Sam, I know you're not listening, but please don't.
Please don't. Anyway, so yeah, it's cool. Definitely check it out. It's on PS Extra if you want to give it a try. It got some really good reviews, actually, so yeah, go check it out.
Sure did. Got me a cool 85 for the Fantasy Critic.
Good for you.
Meanwhile, I forgot this game came out, so I just went ahead and added that to my list for HGAs this year of this came out this year.
How dare you? How rude.
Ethan, if I look at a game that came out and my first response is, oh, this game, it gets put on the list.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I think that's a fair way to conduct business.
Anyway, stop talking about that and talk about this game that I keep forgetting, so I'll just stick it on my fucking list while we're here. What have you been playing, Kyle?
Well, this game, it's called Chained Echoes, and it came out like at the tail end of last year.
Damn.
Sorry, Ethan, it's ineligible.
That's what you think.
I mean, are we going by Game Awards rules?
No, we do our award show at the end.
That's true. We do.
No, but in my defense, if I didn't even know this game existed in 2022, I think that means it's got a good chance of being forgotten in 2023. Just saying.
That's fair.
Just saying, guys. Just saying. Anyway, carry on.
Game got really good reviews, though. It got like a 90 on OpenCritic.
Damn.
Really?
Surprisingly, which for an indie RPG
to
score like that
instead of Sports Story,
dude, you could have won.
I could have picked something that got a 5 and I would have won.
No, you wouldn't.
Or a 75, I mean.
Yeah,
not a 5. I needed like 5 points.
I think Sports Story got you a 5. So
it did not.
Anyway.
Where's Sports Story? Sports Story got him a negative 13. That's what Sports Story.
That's worse than your guys' bad ones this year.
Is it?
That's a lie.
Yeah, you guys
are pretty sure God of Rock is doing worse. Oh, that's an 11.
Minus 11. Yeah.
Hey, I lost 14 on Hogwarts Legacy.
That's not the same.
I'm definitely putting that in that came out this year award, because every time I see that, I'm like, I forgot that there was a big Harry Potter game that sold 6 bajillion copies, yet no one cared. I'm like, wow.
Exactly. People cared for like a week, and then everyone stopped talking about it.
That's like 10 million transphobes just buy it and stick it on a shelf. I never heard fucking anyone talk about it, dude. Like, genuinely.
They bought it and then shot it.
Because they saw there was a trans character in it. They're like, no! What the fuck?
It's woke!
I'm baited!
Next to their rainbow-colored cans.
God damn it.
We'll put it right next to their Bud Light.
It's fine.
But anyways.
They'll use it to prop their webcam while they're streaming on kick.com, dude. It's fine.
But anyways, enough about right-wing cope. Yeah, Chained Echoes. It's an indie RPG made by a dude named Mateus Linda, and it's, in his own words, it's very much inspired by older RPGs from like the SNES and PS1 era. So in other words, a game made for Kyle. And I somehow didn't know about it until like a few months ago. But yeah, I went ahead and played it. Honestly, super fun video game. I've enjoyed my time through most of it. The beginning is kind of a slog. The beginning's really weird. It's like it's super brutal in like the gameplay department, and then the story kind of just never stops going for a while at the beginning. Like there's no breathing room.
Yeah.
Like there's hardly any breaks in the action, and it's just like someone just like strapped a block of cement to the gas pedal of a car. Like,
to be fair, as far as the kind of difficulty curve at the beginning, I think old RPGs were like that.
Yeah, they were.
Like, you know,
they were.
It was hard until you found your like rhythm, and then it was like, oh, now we get it, and now I'm invincible.
That's why I have so much trouble with like trying to play Earthbound. The beginning of that game is just absolutely brutal. But no, I enjoyed Chained Echoes. It held my attention enough to keep me going through the whole game. I think that like the core cast of 6 party members, they all work really well together. They all
I love good party dynamics.
It's cool. They've all got like their own reasons for being there, and they all bounce off each other really well. And all the other side party characters you can get, like one of the guys I was using, he's this little goat dude.
Oh, sick.
He wears a yellow raincoat. He's got a blue little like sailor hat on, and his little goat horns are poking through the hat. Dude, top tier character. He plays like a blue mage.
Oh my god.
Where he like
peak character design on the same level as the frog with the top hat from Chris Tales.
Dude, and Hunter, the way he learns his essentially his blue magic is he turns the enemies into like cans of spinach and eats them Popeye style.
Oh my god, he's like Quitta. It's amazing.
This game is absolutely crazy. I think if I had any real issues with it, most of them would come from its storytelling. Like I said at the beginning, it's kind of like you don't really have time. There's no real breaks in the story to go do the side stuff. And
then somehow at the end it's gonna feel like it won't end, it won't stop. The JRPG way.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like where most of the time it's like you're really lucky I like these characters, or I would have been out by now.
Oh yeah. And what else? And there's also like some parts of the writing where I'm like, this probably could have used like a second pass over. I'm not here to like bully Mateus for his work, because you know it's his vision and this is what he wanted. But some of the stuff towards the end just kind of left me like, oh, a little bit disappointed. I don't really want to talk about it here because it doesn't feel apt to, because it's kind of endgame spoilers, but
yeah,
there was something with the main villain that left me very disappointed.
He was from Jupiter.
Yes. You did it.
Exactly. It was the moon people all along. I knew it.
This is actually Scarlet Nexus 2. No,
wow.
It's not. No, it's not.
So you won't spoil Chained Echoes, but you'll spoil Scarlet Nexus. Fucking wow. The audacity. Rude.
But no, this it's good. If you like RPGs, check it out. It's worth your time.
Play it while you wait for Sea of Stars.
Dude, I can't wait for that to come out.
Yeah.
Great, that's like the end of August, but I'm super looking forward to Sea of Stars.
It looks like it'll be good.
It's got Yasunori Mitsuda as composer.
Sure does.
He's great.
There you go then. So yeah, Chained Echoes, keep it on your radar. What? Me?
What have you been playing?
Yeah.
Fuck all. No, I've played quite a bit.
Hell yeah. See you guys next time.
I played a couple of things. All pretty short. It's fine. So, I don't know why I was in a bit of a story mood because, like I say, I've been waiting for other CTR, and FF16 to come out.
I
So
like
it's
how
like
my
I've had,
brain and
The
your brain
good
both like
CTR.
short-circuited when you said that.
yeah. So I'm waiting for those to come out. Obviously, after I finished Zelda, I was like, okay, I need to play some stuff. So I was replaying Life is Strange, and then there was a couple of days where I didn't have time to play Life is Strange because because usually when I play Life is Strange or I play a story kind of game like that, I like to go full on emo, kind of play it only at night, shut the curtains off. I'll stick the fancy lights on my TV, and I don't like to be disturbed, so I literally lock myself
Ethan plays
into a
Life is
goblin
Strange
bunker.
like most people play horror games.
Genuinely, that's what I do, but that's what people do that to get scared. I do that to get depressed and cry. That's what I do. It's healthy, Kyle. It's healthy.
Yeah, I'm not judging. I've
So I
done
had a
my
couple
fair
of-
share of sitting in the dark.
I had a couple of casual games that I was playing during the day. One of them's Full Throttle, which is the only Tim Schafer point and click that I hadn't played. Because I've played Grim, I've played Day of the Tentacle, I played Broken Age. I haven't played this one. And obviously I haven't played Monkey Island or some of the old ones, but I mean like the main Tim Schafer ones. So I played it, and it's the shortest, and it's pretty good. It's probably, I'd say it's probably the one that Hunter would like the most because it's about a biker
really?
gang, and no,
Sick.
it's basically it's very kind of metal in a way, and it's like it's not as metal. It's not as metal as say
Brutal
God, what's it
Legend.
called? Yeah, Brutal
Twisted
Legend.
Metal.
But it is Twisted Metal.
Good
But
try, Kyle.
it's very kind of well, I wouldn't say it's very much kind of 1960s kind of rock motorbiker gang kind of thing. It's just a very stupid story.
I'd have an appreciation for this.
Yeah, so it's basically it's just a story about a biker gang that gets hired for a job, and it all goes awry, and it's just it's very stupid. It is. I will say this. I don't remember, the last one I played of these was Day of the Tentacle, which was ages ago. It was like I looked up when I last played these games. This was 2016. So for some reason I played Grim and Day of the Tentacle in 2016, Broken Age in 2015, and then just never played this one for 7 years. For some reason, don't know why it was not on my list.
Available like in the same kind.
This was the last one to come out, but I still think it came out in like 2018, 2017. Yeah, I could have played it the year it came out. I didn't. I was naughty. The bright side was it was super cheap. It was like £2. I was like, hell yeah, what a bargain.
Sorry, dude. I also didn't play this in the year it came out.
Well, to be fair,
and neither did Hunter.
There was a lot of things to play in 2017.
Yeah, there was other stuff going on.
I mean, if we're talking about when it originally came out, I don't think any of us were old enough to be playing it. So we were alive. I can tell you that much because it was like 1999 or 2000. But
I wouldn't have had like the cognitive function to play this game.
No.
But no, because it was the last one. But no, it's a very goofy game, and it's very short. It's definitely the shortest, and I appreciated that personally. It took me like 2 hours. Now, bear in mind, if you're new to adventure games, it'll take a lot longer, but it's just, once you've played a couple of adventure games, you get around the kind of bullshit brain mechanic that you have to use, where it's like, how do I do this stupid puzzle? So it's like, I'll give an example. There's a puzzle with a door that's on a chain, right? You pull the chain, it opens the gate, but you can't. You let go of the chain, the door drops, and so you're thinking to yourself, the gate drops.
Use the reversibility.
Yeah, that's what you do. Use the reversibility. Exactly.
Stuck in Tears of the Kingdom.
Bomb jump. Yeah. But no. So most people would be like, okay, how do I need something to hold the door. I need something to hold the chain so that I can go through the door. But the bullshit brain mechanic that you have to do is you have to lock the door so that when you pull on the chain doesn't move, so you can climb up the chain and jump over the wall. That's how you solve the puzzle. You just have to get into that bullshit brain mechanic of what's the obvious thing? It's not that. Let's move over to something else.
Your character can't just find like a heavy rock to prop the door open.
Nope. You have to find a padlock to do something like that. It's just stupid stuff like that. Or it's like there's another one where you need fuel for your bike, and there's a massive fuel tanker, like as like a whole like oil yard that you can sneak into. but there's no way for you to steal the gas from the tanker. So you're like, okay, how do I steal the gas from the tanker? And the correct way is alerting security and hiding, so they drive in, pull their car up, and explore the oil tanker, and you sneak in and siphon their fuel out of their car instead and run away instead of getting the fuel. It's stupid stuff like that where it's like,
for some reason you can't siphon it from the actual tanker.
No, because there's no way, because it's like an actual massive tanker, right? So there's no valve to open it. So it's like, oh, how'd you get it? By getting security to come over and siphon their car. Yeah, just stupid shit like that where it just doesn't make sense. It's goofy fun. I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Is it my favorite? No. I still think Grim and Broken Age I like more, but I liked it more than Day of the Tentacle. So there you go. I'd put it on 3 or 4. There we go. That would be my hierarchy of those. And then I played Deponia, which was another point and click that came out in. Well, it was on PS4 in 2016. I swear I heard of this in like 2012, 2013. And I'd seen it around for ages. It was kind of one of the only examples of modern point and clicks before Broken Age came out. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. It was 99p on the PlayStation Store, ladies and gentlemen. I was like,
oh, man.
I'll give it a go. And let me tell you, it was definitely 99p. That's what I can say. It was like, it's not bad, but it also... This game has 3 sequels or something, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I've played 1, and I'm good. The comedy's a bit shit. The mechanics are a bit hit and miss. I don't particularly like it. I didn't feel that clever solving the puzzles. It was just fine. It was fine. It's very childish, and because of how old it is, and if it continues down that childish kind of route, I could see it probably not having aged very well, because there were already parts of it where I'm like, this kind of, it's not like, no. I'm not sitting there going, wow, but it's like, there's some kind of jokes where you're just like, this isn't funny, and it's just very immature humor, and I'm just like, this is aged like milk.
Release date for the first game, at least on Steam, was August 6th, 2012.
Yeah, I knew it was like 20. Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah, it's fine. It again took me 3 hours, although this time I won't admit that I had a big brain. Some of the puzzles were bullshit, so I looked it up because I was getting fucking bored. But, that's just the way it is sometimes.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, this was made by Daedalic.
Yep, it was made by Daedalic.
They're the people that made Gollum.
Yep.
Oh.
And let me tell you, it's definitely better than Gollum. It's better than Gollum. They've obviously fell off.
That's good.
But also, doesn't it now make sense that a 3D Gollum platformer was bad when the team that made it used to make 2D point and click adventure games? Although I should say that Tim Schafer was fine. Tim Schafer went from grim and brutal and
Grim Fandango
and fucking Full Throttle to Psychonauts. So I made one of the best 3D platformers of all time. So fuck it. It's just, why would you make a Gollum game? Why would you make
Lord of the Rings Gollum got released on the Switch?
Unfortunately. Not yet. It's coming later.
Trash.
It's coming later.
I'm pretty sure it runs like trash anyway. The Switch might just tell you, no, go play something else.
You thought it looked bad now. Wait till you see the Switch version. That was the PS5 version. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend Deponia. It's if you're a freaking action adventure, point and click 2D whatever fan, you probably already fucking played it. So, because there's not many of them around, right? So it's like.
Yeah. And if you haven't, it's $2 on the Nintendo Switch.
It was 99p on the PlayStation Store as of like last week, so it might still be 99p now. And let me tell you, there's worse ways to spend 99p. That's less than a coffee now. Cost of living, crazy. Buy yourself Deponia. Have the don't look up the fucking answers. You've got a good 6 hours ahead of you there.
If I were to play it, do you think I would like it more or less than I like 12 minutes?
Fucking hell. I don't remember how much you hated 12 minutes, to be honest.
It was one of those, like...
It doesn't have a plot twist that involves fucking controversial scenarios.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. It's fine. It very much it feels like a game that's in 2012. It also has like 6 million dialogue options, and I definitely just went, yeah, fuck off. I don't care. Just tell me what I need to know. Let me fucking leave. Anyway, then yeah, I've been playing Life is Strange again. Because I saw the remastered collection was on sale, and I was like, it's been 7 years. Well, 2016, so it was end of 2016, so it's more like 6.5 years. But it's been 6.5 years since I played Life is Strange, and I was like, I've never replayed it, which is funny because I love it. I never replayed it. And I was like, you know what? Remastered collection on sale? Now's a good time to replay it. And what I've come away with is still one of my favorite games of all time. It's gone back up in the ranks. I forgot how much I liked the original Life is Strange. I love that fucking game. The remaster, on the other hand, not very fucking good. It's pretty bad. It's very buggy. In the performance mode, it's extremely blurry. I had to play it on high frame rate. I think I told you guys that on high quality resolution instead of frame rate because it's really blurry. Fun fact, Before the Storm, not an issue on the remaster. The remaster of Before the Storm's better.
Because that's the one I didn't play, and I'm pretty sure at one point
you haven't played Before the Storm. You should play Before. You should replay Life is Strange, and then you should play Before the Storm. Because I'm doing a back to back now. Because I've done the first. I've done the first episode. Genuinely, I re-downloaded Life is Strange True Colors. I'm already like after Rumble and Final Fantasy 16. I'm like the only one I haven't re-downloaded is 2, and it's like, do I give 2 a second chance?
I'm definitely gonna play Before the Storm before that.
But no, I'm just like I was playing it, and I was like, man, I forgot so much about this game, and I also just kind of. The final episode of Life is Strange is very controversial. It's funny that it's called Polarized because it is very polarizing in terms of reception.
Yeah.
I still think I don't like talking. Well, one day, hey, maybe if you replay it, we'll do a spoiler cast for Life is Strange.
Yeah. I should do that. I should do that so we can just do an episode.
I'm down.
We got nothing to do in July.
100%. I'm down with that. I'm down for that. That's pretty great. But I don't want to spoil the ending to Life is Strange because I know a load of people know it, but I also think if you don't know it, you should go in blind. But I still think, even though people always got angry that all the choices they made throughout the game didn't really... The final choice in the game, Kyle, is the same no matter what choices you make throughout the story, basically. It all comes down to a final one or the other option. Things do change, but, you know, people are always like, it only comes down to one option. I still think that's a fucking brilliant final option, by the way. I struggle to think of games where I'm like, damn, I have to sit, there's a genuine... I understand the reasoning behind both of them. Most of the time, it's like, hey, do you want to shoot the guy or let him live? And I'm like, well, he's murdered 12 people. I think we should... Yeah, I think we should shoot him, guys.
Yeah, shoot him.
Let him live.
You know, it's funny because, like, the final episode of that game was... I don't really like it, but it's less to do with the choice, and it's just because, God, that one, it goes on forever.
It does. Which is funny, because it was the shortest episode for me, which I think is bizarre, because it feels like the longest episode, but it is the shortest episode, technically. And it's just like, here's the thing is, I don't like how it deals with some things. I was like being
sent away to get like ice cream or something, and people are like, my siblings were like, yeah, go get us some ice cream or whatever. I'm like, let me finish this first. It's like wrapping up.
And 2 days later, you finally went to get ice cream.
Like, what must have been an hour and a half later, at least, I was leaving to get the ice cream after finishing my game. And I was like, geez.
But no, it's like, shorter. That final episode is a bit hit and miss. I think there's definitely ways you could do it better. I think it kind of gets a bit too into itself. And what I mean by that is the game has this time travel mechanic, which, looking back on it, I love the empathy powers in True Colors. I think it works really well. But I also do think that man, from a gameplay perspective, I don't think they will ever get a power better than the time travel mechanic, because it just works that well in terms of a choice-based narrative.
Time travel is the most video gamey thing you could do with it. Yeah,
and it also just makes sense for this, because I don't know if you've ever played like a Telltale game before, Cal, but most of the time it's like,
nope.
There's certain choices that impact stories a lot. You should at one point. I don't know. Maybe get Sam to play it. I know you like watching things.
I did enjoy watching him play Somnium Files. I know that's not really the same thing, but I enjoyed that.
It's more of a drama than a comedy, but yeah. There are funny moments, and some of them aren't intentional. So, but you know, it's like there's two main choices, and I think what this game does brilliantly that others don't is you're kind of locked in. And sometimes I hate it. The text will come up saying something, and you'll press it, and it comes off completely different than the way you think it's going to go.
Oh yeah, that happens in Persona.
Yeah, you'll come off as an arsehole. So you can do it. So you can make a decision, and you'll be like, fuck, that's not how I wanted that to go. You can rewind the conversation so that it didn't happen that way and choose the other option. Or learn something from the conversation. So you can... One of my favourite parts is it's in episode 3, is where you're basically having 3 conversations with 3 separate people, and you're trying to work out information from all 3 of them to gaslight someone. And I think it's fucking great, because you're just getting clues from one person to another and bouncing that information, rewinding time to get the correct solution. And it's just stuff like that they've not done again, and I still, like, it's brilliant. But no, even though episode 5 is still a bit rough, they could have done things better. The villain kind of comes off a bit kind of comic-y at the end of it. It kind of gets a bit silly. I don't think replaying it, knowing everything, I think it works way better. Once you know everything, you're like, okay, everything adds up. And obviously with time travel, they probably were like, we need to make sure everything adds up every single time. And it does. And it's just like, it's just a vibe. It genuinely is. The first Life is Strange is just a vibe, and it's one that I will forever...
Yeah, that was the reason I liked it more than anything else. It's just the feeling of existing in Arcadia Bay and interacting with the people, even if some of the people were terrible.
And it's just like, I really love Max and Chloe. I genuinely do really love them as characters. I think Chloe is an asshole and fucking really, like, just snaps really quickly
sometimes,
and the worst. But I also love, and Max is somebody that I don't know why, because we've talked about it before, where it's like, I've talked about how I relate with characters a lot and stuff like that. So it's like but it's like Max is someone where it's like, I like photography. I'm not a photography nut like Max is. I don't really like stuff. I'm not the same. Like a lot of the time I connect with characters because I'm a lot like that person, and I'm not really a lot like Max. Really, yeah. There are parts of me that I'm like, I can see in her, but not really. But I get so attached to Max in that game every single time that I fucking... Like, I was genuinely, like, properly...
I'm certainly not like Max either, but I could see myself being friends with her.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And I think that's the weird thing, is when I played this game originally, I was 19, so I was 1 year older. They were the same age as me, basically. And now playing it this way, and you know... I haven't aged much mentally, because I'm a fucking... you know, still a fucking idiot, right? But... You know, physically, you know, I'm 25. I'm a lot older than them now. I'm like 6-7 years older than them now. And it's like, it does feel different replaying it as being slightly older, but it's still like, it still has that kind of, the nostalgia is almost, it's not just a forced nostalgia kind of vibe now. It also is nostalgic for this game. It's very weird playing it again. I love it. It's great. If you haven't played it, you should play it. It's fantastic. Before the Storm is also fantastic. I replayed the first episode, and fucking hell, I was already getting ready to cry because I know what happens in the rest of it. It's a brilliant... I just love how it completely changes your outlook on everything. Because to me, it's like the first time round, I'm like, a lot of people shit Max and Chloe. There's the whole relationship dynamic now. And now that I've played Before the Storm and I've seen the Rachel Amber situation, I now don't play that route like that in the original, because in my head I've like, it changes how everything works to me. And it's like,
even without Before the Storm, I played that very agnostically when I played the game.
Same. I always do it. But fucking like, it's weird, right? Because it's like Max interferes with the story. She very much is with her time travel powers. She very much this. You think the story revolves around Max because of her powers and everything that's happening, right? Where when you've played Before the Storm, and even when you think about it with Life is Strange, the main character of Life is Strange and Before the Storm is Rachel Amber. She is the connecting dot to everything.
She is the major point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She connects to Chloe. That's why Chloe was interrogating Nathan, because of everything that was happening. You know, it's like the reason that she was in the bathroom. That's it. Everything revolves around Rachel.
The red thread always goes back to her.
And with Before the Storm, it turns that pinpoint where you're just like, this is this one person, and she's the main person in the story, and you don't know her at all in the original Life is Strange, and turn her into a character. And I think they do the cruel and amazing thing of taking a character that you already know the ending of their story to, and if you were smart, going, I'm not going to get attached, you know.
And it happens anyway.
And she's like, everyone talks about how she was the nicest person, that everybody loved her, and they turn her into a character that you love instantly and like you immediately attach to, and you're like, God fucking damn it, I hate this franchise so much. It's so good. But no, they're both fantastic. I was redoing I don't have a top 10 games list because I think it's stupid, and I also change it all the time. But I was trying to do if I'm trying to be serious on a top 10 games list, where would I put it? And Life is Strange is currently at number 6. That's where I'd put it. It's gone pretty high now.
Nice.
But no, you should play Before the Storm Hunters. We should talk about it. It's good. You should play 2 as well. So I'll replay 2 if you want to play 2. I'll play it. Maybe I'll like it this time.
Maybe. I mean, I should still give it a chance. Don't not just have that other story game come out. It was called like Reverie: The Fall of something or other. It seemed to do pretty okay as far as reviews, so that's cool for them.
Dude, it's so good, dude. I also just love a good mystery, right? I love a good mystery.
Mysteries are great. I do.
And Life is Strange 1 has a brilliant mystery to it, and I do really like it. And it doesn't always give you all the answers, which is also something that I also like. I hate it does do a bit of its own at going, and this is why I did this, and this is why this is like that. But it also does leave a lot of stuff open, especially with Rachel. Like all of that stuff, like Rachel's motivations and all that stuff. Very much kind of not 100% nailed down. And it's still not nailed down in Before the Storm. But it's great. It's very good. You should play it. You should do that. Go play it. Have fun. Watch it on YouTube. I don't fucking know. Do what you want. I'm surprised they never made a TV show out of it, to be honest. They'd fucking ruin it. But
yeah, like honestly, Life is Strange.
You need someone that really cared about it to actually do it. And I feel like, unfortunately, it would be something like a Netflix gets the rights and butchers the shit out of it.
The problem is, it would become a TV show, and it has the energy that would land it as one of those annoying CW shows.
Riverdale.
Yeah, Riverdale, dude. But no. It's just, I like, genuinely, I could talk about it all day. The ending is fucking like, oh god, the ending, man. The ending. Why is everybody wrong about the ending? That's all I'll say. I look it up and there's a 50-50 split. It's one of the only adventure games that still has to this day like a 50-50 split. Well, here's the thing, right? On the remaster, it's 45-55 to what you expect, because this is Life is Strange fans replaying it. So obviously there's a bias to the ending. But if you look back at the original game, it's 52-48 the other way.
Oh. So in the aggregate, it balances out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in the aggregate, it balances out. It's probably definitely. I can't even say what the options are, because even if there's a community term for it, but even that would give away too much, so I can't say.
All right, then I guess you're done.
I guess I'm done. It's good. You should play it. Please play it. I cried. It's everywhere. It's on Switch. Look, I was that sad. Oh, I won't show you because it'll fuck with my camera. But I don't own it physically, so I bought a physical copy on PS4, and I found out that the remastered Life is Strange 1 also has a Switch version. It's the only version of the remaster that's physical. So I bought that too. because only Switch got the physical version. It doesn't have doesn't have a physical for Before the Storm. It was unfortunately Before the Storm's only digital, but it has a physical Life is Strange 1. And I was like, I kind of want that because the art's fucking incredible. But yeah, anyway, that's our show. Hey, we're done.
Hey.
Next week, it's time to get ready to rumble, and also play Final Fantasy. I guess, who knows?
Yeah.
We can do that too.
We could do both.
Why not both? Why not?
Well, Hunter and I can't rumble. Well, Hunter and I are choosing to not rumble.
You could if you weren't cowards.
Well, that's what Jack and Kane and Sam are for.
Kane and Jack aren't playing it. It's just it's just me and Sam. I don't even know if I sent Sam a message last Monday saying you better not abandon me for Rumble, and then I got a message on Thursday saying I'm down to play, and I'm like, it took you 4 days to reply. I don't believe you. He's playing Diablo at the moment, so I'm like, fuck, I'm screwed. I'm just playing Rumble by myself. God damn. Gonna have to start streaming again just so people fucking play Rumble with me.
Viewer matches.
Okay, you should start streaming Crash Team Rumble and label it as 1545 practice.
That's a good idea. I'll do that. I'm exactly gonna do that. Bring back Crash. It comes out on Crash Tuesday. I just realized it's fucking perfect.
Crash Team Tuesday.
Not only, yeah. Come on down, guys. We'll be playing on Crash Tuesday. Come on down. Anyway, links are on screen right now.
There is no we.
Excuse me, Activision, would you please send me over 2 review copies of Crash Team Rumble? I've already bought my copy, so just only need 2. Thank you very much. But yeah, if you want to keep up to date with us outside the podcast, those links were on screen. They're gone now. Bye bye. Yeah, obviously, if you want to listen to, if you listen to us on a favorite podcast service, follow, search for Hot Gamers Only if you want to listen to us on audio podcasts. And if you want to check out our stupid faces and watch the video version, go to youtube.com/Hot Gamers Only. And if you can hit subscribe,
get us 2 more subscribers.
Listen, if you get us 2 more subscribers, we will release a Zelda spoiler cast and we'll do Life is Strange. And if you don't, we'll still probably do it. But please, we're so fucking close.
But please, it's so close. We're being teased.
We're being teased, bro. Please.
I'm not asking anymore. Subscribe.
Do it.
Do it.
Anyway.
Do it.
Anyway, that's it. That's our show. Thank you ever so much for listening this week. We'll be back next week to talk all about Final Fantasy 16 and Crash Team Rumble, so be sure to check it out. But yeah, until then, have an awesome week. It's a busy one, so yeah, have fun. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.